guys. This video is going to be about all of the fine details of the firearm that I used in that self-defense encounter that I just did a video about. There was at least a few people that had sent me messages or emails and were very interested into knowing about the ammo, the sights, the light, and all this stuff, so and the firearm itself. So I'm going to go through that and tell you all of those details right now. Let's go ahead and start with the firearm itself, and then we'll talk about all of the accessories on it, if there's anything that's been done to it or modified. And let's just go ahead and go over that now. So to start out with, this is the Glock Model 45 that is a 9mm in caliber. The Glock 45 is a G19 size slide with a G17 size frame. So you can hold 17 rounds plus one, and yet you have a G19 size slide. I really like this gun. The trigger is really good. It's a factory trigger. Nothing on the internals has been done at all whatsoever to this gun. It is stock from factory, and right now it is a clear gun. I'm going to show you, maybe you'll get a little bit of an idea of how this trigger pull is on camera. Sometimes that's hard to do without testing it in person, but let's go ahead and show you that trigger pull. It's really nice. One of the best trigger pulls I've ever had on a factory Glock. It has a little bit of take up right there, and then a little bit of creep there, and then a very, very crisp and not very heavy feeling break. Show you the reset, and let's pull it again. Very nice and crisp. Very easy to keep on target, even one-handed. Very easy to keep on target, even when that trigger breaks. Okay, so let's start with the accessories that this gun has on it that would not come from factory. Obviously, from factory, it comes with front cocking serrations. I like them. Don't really need them that much, but they're there just in case I do. So we'll start with the first thing that was added to this, and that is the Talon Pro grip right here. The Talon Pro grip, you really might not want this against your skin, but it's what is on this gun right here. And the second thing that is on this firearm that wouldn't come from factory unless you buy it like this would be these night sights. And people really wanted to know about these night sights. So let me go ahead and zoom in here, and I'm going to show you that right now. These are the Ameriglow H3, and then it says W100FC underneath. So there's all the info on the sight. It is a red ring. That's what I prefer, with the night sight in the center that would be green. Now in that self-defense encounter, I never at any point in time whatsoever saw the orange or the red ring there. Never did I see that. The only thing I saw was a pretty brightly illuminated green dot, which would have been the center part that looks clear to you right now, that you're looking at in the middle. It looks kind of clear. That is all I've seen in the self-defense encounter. Rear would be the same thing. It has the anti-glare slashes cut in it right there, the little slots, so that you don't get glare. And also, it just says Ameriglow H3 FN. So that is what the night sights are. Seemed like a lot of people were very interested in that. This may be a little hard to see, guys, and it's showing the dots bigger than what they are in person, but this is going to give you an idea of what I saw in the darkness as I looked down the sights. Mainly with the front sight is what I saw. Not too much with the rear sight, but the front sight was very visible even behind all the light of the Surefire. That front sight is what I was focused on. So there it is with the Ameriglow H3s. And then the third thing that's on here, which is very easy to tell, is the Surefire X300 Ultra. This is the B. You can get the A. The B has the thumb screw. The A has the quick release. That's all up to you. I just do it because it does sit a little bit tighter on the gun. Sometimes if you have the quick release, when you manipulate this or you push to activate the light, sometimes you'll feel just a little bit of a clunk. It won't hurt anything. It won't affect your shooting. but this just keeps it a little bit more secure, but it's a little bit harder to take off. It just takes a little more time, actually, is all it is. It's not harder. It just takes a little more time. You want to tighten this down with a coin or a screwdriver. You want to tighten this down with your thumb and finger, and then you want to take a coin or a screwdriver and give it another quarter turn, and you're all set. It's never moved on me. Now, this Surefire light is really in good condition. All you're seeing on here is Kydex from the holster. The holster one of the holsters I have does touch this. When it goes in, the holster actually locks onto this instead of the trigger guard of the gun. One of the holsters I use actually locks around the light. So these marks here, I can get them off. I've done it before. I've just left them there. This is just a little bit of Kydex, traces of Kydex material from the holster. I'm going to show you the lens here. There's the lens of the Surefire. It's got the TIR optic, and it is the 1000 lumen X300 Ultra B. I'll give you the model number right there close up. See it right there? The X300U-B. If you want to get the exact same setup I have. An Ameriglow H3's Talon Pro Grip, or you can go with the Talon Rubber Grip if this is going to ever touch your skin. The Talon Rubber Grip will work just as well. Now let's go over the ammo and a couple other points. Okay, so this ammo is going to be changing shortly. I can do a video on that later if you want me to. But right now what I have in there is the Federal HST, the 9mm, 147 grain plus P. Now, I don't normally shoot a round that's this heavy, the 147 grain, or that with that many grains. I normally stick to 115 to 124, but back at the time I ordered this, I believe this was all that they had in stock. But man, this is a great round, and this 147 is good too. And I also use this through the winter, so if I would ever need it and someone had on thick clothing or something like that, the 147 grain is able to, perform really well in that. But I normally stick to 124 or 115 for the most part. So there is this round here. Zoom in a little bit. Federal HST plus P, 147 grain. Inside the firearm, I was carrying a 17 round magazine that comes with the firearm. And I had 17 plus 1 in the chamber. Another point that I wanted to bring up, because I'm about due for that, is I'm going to be changing out the batteries. I bought this 12 pack of batteries from Amazon. These are just Surefire branded batteries, and I like to use them. They have a high capacity and they seem to last a long time. So every so many months or so many uses, you want to keep the battery and the Surefire fresh. These do last a long time. So here is a good scenario for what I'm going to do. I have a small light on my body armor that up by my shoulder that I can use hands-free, clipped on my body armor. And it takes one of these batteries. So what I'm going to do is when I rotate these batteries out, like I'm getting ready to do, because they've just been in there for a long time, and they've had some training and some different uses on there, and I want to keep it peak. So when I take the two batteries out of here, of these, I am going to use those as replacements in my little body armor flashlight, and it will last a really long time in that flashlight, and I will get all my use out of these. Every 6 months or 12 months, whatever you want to do it, or depending on how often you use your light, you just want to keep it peak intensity. That'll be the best benefit for you. Even with these batteries half drained or lower, you're still going to get the peak intensity of the light. But I would rather be safe than sorry. So like, in other words, this light doesn't dim as the battery gets used. This light would only dim at the very end of the life of this battery if you try to push it that far. So if this battery has a quarter of its life left, you will still get the same output as when it has 100% life. But if you do let it get down too low, you could experience right at the very end a drop in output or the light just simply turn off, which you don't want to have happen. But like I said, these do last a long time. Train with your gun, train with your Surefire. Keep using the same set of batteries in training. Rotate them out for fresh ones when you carry. Use those training batteries until they get down to where there's almost nothing left, so you can see what they do at the end of their life and how long they go approximately for you, how long they last. I had a viewer that wanted to know weapon light versus handheld light, benefits, and could they both be used in this role? And I've got some advice I can give you on that, about handheld and weapon light mounted. And I can give you some advice on that, on both weapon mounted light versus handheld light. All right, guys, until next time, this is DOF, and I'm out of there.